Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred We Say Dead Laughing and I'm here with another book haul. So I bought for myself 2 books this month in June. 2 of the books I have here, and these other 2 books that I'm going to show you I actually bought in May. One of them I forgot to mention in my May book haul, and the other one I bought in May but it didn't show up until June. And then I have a massive box of books that I got from publishers, as I reached out to some publishers at the start of the month, and they all very kindly, a lot of them, not all, a lot of them very kindly have sent me some books for review. So I have a bunch of books there that I need to show you as well. So I'll just start off with the book that I forgot to mention in my last book haul, which is Stitching Snow by R.C. Lewis. I read Spinning Starlight by R.C. Lewis a while ago and I really enjoyed it. So I really wanted to read this, which is obviously kind of a fairy tale retelling of Stitching Snow set in a science fiction universe. I don't know too much about the actual specifics of the story, but I just really enjoyed her writing in Spinning Starlight, so I said to myself that I would pick up this one. So I can't wait to get to that. And then another book that I got that didn't come until June is The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. This is kind of a book just about a dog and his life. It's a fictional book about a dog and just how he looks on life and just his enjoyment out of life and stuff like that. So I just love those kind of books, so I really can't wait to read this because I feel like it's just going to be a really cute, nice read. Probably make me cry at some point, because anything to do with dogs suffering, or dogs, you know, loving people the way they love people, and just the way it's explained just makes me cry and makes me want to hug my dog, so that will probably happen. And then the 2 books that I did get this month, I was really bold. I got like literally the very start of the month when I told myself I wasn't going to buy any books, and then I went into the bookstore and I picked up a book. And the first book I got was The Passage by Justin Cronin. I got this, is over 900 pages, it's a chunker. I got this for €6, and the last book in this trilogy just came out recently. It's funny, I've never heard about this book trilogy before, and since I bought this book I've seen it everywhere and loads of people are reading it, and I'm just kind of like, I've never heard of it before, so it's just one of those kind of funny things. I think this is something to do with a vampire, like a lot of vampires that have coming up and are trying to take control of Earth or something like that. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it has something to do with kind of a survivor story and an apocalypse, but to do with the vampires. But don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. I need to start reading it. I don't know when I'll start to read it, but... And another one I bought is a complete cover buy, which never really happens to me, but this one was, and it is The Wolf in the Attic by Paul Carney. This is about a girl who is living in London in the 1920s, and she finds a boy with yellow eyes in her attic in where she's living, and her father won't really talk to her about what happened in the war or what happened to her family or something like that, so she's very alone. And then she meets this boy and there's just something a bit odd about it, I think, and it's obviously kind of a fantasy, kind of horror-esque kind of book, I think. But yeah, I just was really intrigued by it, so I picked it up and I can't wait to read it and see what it is actually about. So yeah, so I will start off and just start showing you the books. I have some of them all jumbled up on top of each other, but so I'll just tell you who sent them to me. A few that I have here set aside that I want to read pretty soon. One of them is Fat Chance by Louise McSharry. This is a memoir of an Irish journalist called Louise McSharry that she wrote, and it's just basically my life in ups, downs and crisp sandwiches, because you are not Irish. You haven't eaten a crisp sandwich, because they are the best things in the world. Take my word for it. So yeah, so this is pretty short. It's about 250 pages, and it's basically just about her growing up, about her relationships, and then about her fight with cancer, because she had cancer. I don't know if she still has cancer or if she's in remission, but yeah, so I can't wait to get into this. I just feel like it'll just be a really kind of funny, nice read about someone growing up in Ireland, and I'll probably be able to relate a lot to it as well, so yeah. And I got this from Penguin Random House Ireland, I should mention. And then the next 2 I also got from Penguin Random House. The first one here is Girl Unknown by Karen Perry. This is kind of a mystery thriller set in Dublin, and it's about this girl who shows up at this professor's office and says that she is his daughter, and they kind of bring her into his home, and she meets the rest of the family and stuff like that, but they feel like there's something odd about her and there's not something 100% there, and it's just kind of them trying to figure out who she actually is and what she wants with them. So it sounds really good. I don't know, I'm just like really intrigued by it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. And another book here is Blame by, who wrote this? Simon Mayo. And this is something about this kind of dystopian-like world where people are locked up for the crimes of their family. So if their family can't be locked up, the rest of the family is, and it's about a boy who is dealing with the fact that he's been locked up for something that or there's a girl called Ant and her brother Matty are locked up for something that their parents did, and they're obviously getting the blame for it, and it's just about that. So I just feel like this is a really interesting concept, so I can't wait to read it and see what it is actually about. And I got this from Penguin Random House. And then the next book I have here that I've set aside I got from O'Brien's Press in Ireland, and it is called Plain Jane by Kim Hood. And it's just basically about a girl whose sister is sick, and she feels like she's been living in the shadow of her sister. And I think it's just about her growing up and finding a boy and falling in love and stuff like that. So it's about 300 pages, but the fonting is kind of big because it's like a very young YA, I think. So this won't take me very long to read it all, so I'm looking forward to that. So the next book I have here I got from Little Brown, and it is Shadow Rider by Christine Feehan, and this is about a guy who is kind of in this mob family, but there's kind of supernatural thing about them, and then this girl meets him, and I think they get into a relationship and stuff happens, and yeah, something like that. So, and this, I think this is released 28th of June, so this is released this week, so I'm very excited to have a copy of it already. The next book here I got from Head of Zeus, and it is The Dark Forest by Jin Liu. I'm not 100% sure if that's how you say that name, so I apologise. This is a science fiction novel, but it is either the third book, I think it's the second book in a series, so I haven't read the first one, but I have, I think the first one is called The Three-Body Problem, so I have requested that from my library so I can read that and then I can read this. So I'm not really sure what this one is about, and this one is released on July 14th, so it's been published on July 14th. So yeah, but I'm excited to get the first one, read that, and then get to this one. The next book I got is from Orbit, and it is Chasing Embers by James Bennett. So this one I think is about a guy who is something that's not quite human, and his world and our world are going to collide somehow, and then he's going to be stuck in the middle of it. So this actually sounds really, really good, and it says, from the publishers of Jim Butcher comes a fresh and original mix of adventure and mythology with an anti-hero to rival the likes of Harry Dresden. I've not read the Jim Butcher series, I keep meaning to read it, but I've heard good things about it, so hopefully this will be good as well. The next book I have I'm really excited to read, and I don't know why. I think it's just like I really like the cover, even though this is obviously an ARC copy, it's not the full cover, but it is Wolf Hollow by Lauren Wolk, and it is just about a girl living in this town. I will read the front of it for you. Annabelle has lived in Wolf Hollow all her life, a quiet place still scarred by 2 world wars. But when cruel, manipulative Betty arrives in town, Annabelle's calm world is shattered along with everything she's ever known about right and wrong. When Betty accuses a lonely veteran named Toby of a terrible act, Annabelle knows he's innocent, then Betty disappears. Now Annabelle must protect Toby from the spiralling accusations and hysteria until she can prove to Wolf Hollow what really happened to Betty. So it's a little bit of mystery. I'm pretty sure it's middle grade, it's like, it's not very long, the font is quite big, so I am excited to read this, and I got this from Penguin Random House. The next book I also got from Penguin Random House is The Hypnotist by Lawrence Anholt. This is something about a boy growing up in the 60s in America, and he is black, and it is just, I think, him trying to live his life, and obviously dealing with a lot of racism, and and him trying to, I think, become better than what he was born into, and trying to do well for himself, and just struggling with people's expectations for him and how they're treating him. So this again is something really good. I really love stories like this that are set in deep South America within this time frame, and seeing how people struggle and how they overcome it. And while it makes you really angry that this happened, I just really like reading about it. I don't know why, but yeah, so I can't wait to read this. I got 2 books from a series from O'Brien's Press as well, and the first one is A Crack in Everything, and then the second book is A Hollow in the Hills. Both of these are by Ruth Frances Long. This is something to do with a supernatural kind of world in Dublin and a girl stumbling upon it. So I think it's a little bit like, might be a little bit like The Fae, like, so a little bit like Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning, but hopefully written better, because this is an Irish author, so she knows Dublin better, and she knows, probably knows the Irish mythology and Irish kind of fairies and stuff better as well, and how we deal with it. So I'm looking forward to reading this because it sounds really, really good. Another book I got from Orbit and Little Brown, which I can't wait to read, is The Waking Fire by Anthony Ryan. This, just from the cover alone, looks amazing, and it is about something where there's like this world where there are these kind of dragon-like creatures called drakes, and if someone drinks the blood of a drake, they're known as like, they're kind of like have a secret power. And I think it's about a guy who's trying to hunt down a drake to get these powers, and just his adventure. I think that's what it's about, but it is a fantasy, so there's probably a lot more to it than that. But I can't wait to read this because I think it looks really, really good, and it is out on July 7th. The next book I got from Liberty's Press in Ireland, and it is The Edge of Heaven by Orby Kelly. This is a brand new release, and it is kind of a survivor story, I think, and it is about a discovery of a decomposed body somewhere in France, and these two people trying to figure out what is going on, and I think there's going to be a plague and stuff like that, but it sounds really good. When they sent me the synopsis of this and asked me if I want to read it, I was like, yes, this sounds exactly like my type of story, so I can't wait to read it and see how I feel about it. And I think this just recently came out at the end of the month, so it came out the 10th of June, so yeah, it looks good. The next two books I got from Chronicle. I requested, they sent me a little list, and I was able to request a couple of books from them. So the first one is Devil and the Bluebird by Jennifer Mason Black. This is, I think, it's kind of like a YA contemporary, and it's about a girl who kind of just goes on a journey, I think, of self-discovery, and it sounds really good. I saw really good reviews of it, and I think it's kind of like a little bit emotional at times, but it's really, really cute, and it sounds really cute. The cover of it is really cute, so I can't wait to read it and see what it is about. And then the next book I got is On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Duvis. This is kind of another survivor apocalypse kind of story. I think it's set in Amsterdam, and I have recently heard a lot of really great things about this book, so I can't wait to pick it up. Another kind of mystery thriller I got from Penguin Random House is Local Girl Missing by Claire Douglas. I think this is just something to do with a girl that went missing and no one knows what happened to her, and a few years later they come back to it because weird things are happening, and one girl in particular is trying to figure out what is happening. I think it was her best friend wants to try and figure out what happened to her, so it's something along the lines of that. And then the last few books I got all from Penguin Random House as well. One of them is Anna and the Swaddle Mad by Gabrielle Savit. This sounds really, really good. This is about a girl, to read the back. On 6th November 1939, Anna's father had to go away for a few hours. He left shortly after 11 o'clock. He did not come back again. An extraordinary new wartime story that will captivate readers young and old. Meet Anna, meet the Swallow Man, and follow their incredible journey together. So this sounds absolutely excellent. It is only about 220 pages, so it wouldn't take me very long. I can't wait to read it. The next book I have here is My Name is Leon by Kit de Waal. This is about a child, I think he was growing up in the foster system, and he's trying to stay together with his brother, and it's just about him overcoming like how he is living and trying to kind of reconnect with his family and stuff like that. And again, this isn't a very long book either, so I think I'll get through it really quickly. The last book I have here is The Last Days of Summer by Vanessa Ronan, and this has a really lovely, let me take the dust jacket off, it's really nice. This is about a girl whose uncle, I think, comes back to live with the family, and he's been in jail, and this girl is trying to deal with the fact that her uncle was in jail and is now coming and living with her family. So they're trying to kind of figure out, I think, if maybe who he is, and if there's trouble that's coming their way, is he the one that's causing it, and stuff like that. So it just sounds like kind of a family drama kind of book, and I think I will like it, and I can't wait to read it. So that is all the books I have. That probably took quite a while. Please let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you've read any of these books or you would like to read any of them, and I'll see you guys again next time.